Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another high-level ranked cast. We're going through the leaderboards right now. We're just finding interesting games and jumping in on them. I don't watch these beforehand. I just have to basically look at, see who the players are and jump on in some interesting ones. And today we're jumping on board with the ranked 1 player. The players are starting to hit Celestial as we're on day 4 of the ranked leaderboard right now. So we already found a very interesting game to jump in on, and we have the current ranked 1 player bedtime story at the time of me recording. It's the ranked 1 player, and we also have almost the entirety of the pro team magnets down on the red team as well. We're heading to Beard into T'Challa for this game. We're already seeing Groot and Hela getting banned away. Reminder, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, liking if you like the content that's going on here. And if you spot any games that you find interesting on streams or just in the leaderboard, if you're someone like me who likes to browse the leaderboard for fun games to watch, or you just want me to cast one of your games, I can't guarantee I'll do all of them, but I'd love to do some, then send in your replays as well. You can also become a member to support the channel that way to help me, continue making these videos. I'll be covering MRC once it comes around. You can also support by becoming a member like Wzrrior, Doki Poki, or John, but the best way to support is to subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you can see when videos go live. Leave a comment, like the video, share the video, just help build this channel up. Once we hit 5,000 subs, I will be streaming. Iron Fist has finally entered into the phase where they're starting to get banned out, just due to how popular they are right now in the meta, due to the recent changes at the end of Season 1 and beginning of Season 2. Let's head on in to this ranked game and introduce our players. We have, on the blue team, Vivi. They are playing the Lunar Snow. FullMetalLamps is going to be playing. We've lost the attack and defend this thing, so we don't have that. Neat. They've changed the overlay a little bit here for the ranked. This is the first domination game I've covered. Neat. FullMetalLamps playing the Penny Parker. Bedtime Story is on the Moon Knight. Haluk is on the Emma Frost, who is part of the Magnets faction, by the way. So it's interesting. Magnets versus Magnets. Wzrrior will be playing the Mr. Fantastic, and Momentum is on the Loki. On the red team, we have Jibory playing the Lunar Snow. lennJaeGon will be playing the Thing. Cybur is on the Emma Frost. Vastus is playing Magneto. Rank 1 POV versus the rank 1 player. How ironic. They're on the Rocket. And Tico is bringing out the Winter Soldier. Shots coming in right away. Wzrrior will fall. Haluk trying to get in that diamond form to try and get onto that Magneto, try and take out Vastus, but cannot push on through. They're going to be forced to back up at least a little bit, getting healed up by the Loki here. Loki, we started to see drop out of favor a little bit in the recent patch, but they're going to try and bring it back instead of the Rocket. The ranked 1 is, here comes the Fist of Khonshu, pulling in the Emma Frost, pushed back though by Magneto. They will be able to stay up. Locked down by Penny, who's trying to push onto the point. FullMetalLamps is trying to set up, goes to the high ground for the moment to just siege in on their opponents. Another great lockdown onto Tico. The flank of the Penny here, very effective, takes them down, but will get picked off by the clobbering time of lennJaeGon. Big knockdowns. They can't be displaced, but they can be stunned. One of the few abilities that can help lock down the Thing. Here comes the Psionic Seduction. lennJaeGon being forced to try and stay moving in that Yahtzee 3 charge to try and stop themselves from getting stunned out here, and they will get picked off. Fate of both worlds from Triple V, allowing them to hold the point, drive them back, and they force red team off. Blue team claiming the point back. Keeping the board up for the moment. Tico has that Kraken impact. This is going to be pretty effective here, as Momentum needs to be very careful where they're dropping those Loki clones. Currently setting up the Loki firing squad at the main entrance, but they are all heading to the high ground. Keep the team topped up for the moment. Trying to keep that Penny healed. And Fist of Khonshu coming down. Bedtime Story with the double, grading right into the choke point there. Fate of both worlds to try and capitalize. Even though they lost a member there, 2 members, they're still going to try and contest it. Crack and impact from Tico. Going to be looking for Loki close, at least to try and find one elimination. But with the Fate of both worlds, they're not going to find anyone here. Forced to back away. In the backline, trying to get one elimination. Locked down. Crystal kick. And Tico will find one elimination. They're still going back here. They are completely isolated from their team. They'll finally get picked off. Bionic Spider Nest is taken down. Good lockdown onto Len. Here comes the Sonic Seduction, trying to force them off the point. Pulled on in by Cybur, but they still take them down here as Len continues to try and pile on the pressure. Wzrrior with the Brainiac bounce, able to take one down as well as the second Mr. Fantastic we are seeing here in the games that we have covered in Season 2. Seems to be jumping up in priority at least a little bit. Tico off that, Mr. Fantastic not able to find the eliminations they want as Bedtime Story continues to clean up in the choke point here, piling on the pressure. 87 to 57 right now in favor of blue team. They hold control at least for the moment. Guessing charge coming in. Bedtime Story up to the high ground. Grappling hook to try and get away from the Media M that's coming in. Clobbering time. Vastus, the Media M chases down Bedtime Story, trying to remove them from the board. And we are seeing red team in dominant position right now. They will claim control. Ranked 1 POV, keeping the team topped up, making sure that everyone is sustained. They're going to be able to drive back the members of blue team, claim back the point. Great pickup there onto Triple V. And on 60%, it comes down to how long they can hold and delay this. Tico sending in the shots. Keeping the zone up here. It's a triple Vanguard composition for red team. A simple 2-2-2. For the side of blue team. In comes the clone from Momentum onto Lunar Snow. They're going to try and break this with the fate of both worlds. VVV not having theirs available, so it's kind of up to Momentum to drop this. 4, 3, dropping it on 2. Coming in. They're going to try and break the siege. lennJaeGon is getting focused down. My apologies. Tico cleaning out Triple V in the backline. Cybur is trying to drive them back right now, but is getting focused down in that diamond form to try and hold, to try and delay. But Wzrrior is also exceptionally taggy. Here comes the Bionic Spider Nest to try and buy time. Cybur focusing them down, but is inside the web right now. Is taking a lot of damage. Locked down. Brainiac bounce from Wzrrior to try and clean this up, and is succeeding. Getting pickups, getting zones. Portal comes in from Bedtime Story to get them onto the board. Clobbering time comes out. Vastus is here. Portal to try and get onto the point, but they're zoned away. 99, overtime ticking down, looking to maybe wrap in from behind. Meleeing them through the portal. Their body blocking here touches the point, but is eating so much damage from those Bionic Spider Nests, taking way too much DPS here. And it looks like blue team are able to claim round number 1. Wzrrior Falls is picked up. Imperial Institute of Science. Our blue team going to be able to claim the 2-0 here. The very last second swap from Bedtime Story off the Moon Knight to the Doctor Strange, bringing them back to an even setup, but will return to the Moon Knight. The portal, last second arrival onto the point. Ranked 1 POV, starting on the Jeff. I don't know if they're going to try and commit to this, or if this is just a speed boost out of Spawn. Looks like we are seeing the swap here. lennJaeGon is going on to a Star-Lord here. Going to be moving off of that 3rd Vanguard. Red team trying to capitalize on that new team up with Emma Frost. Ranked 1 POV is going to swap back to the Rocket. Rockets jumped so much higher in priority than they were in Season 1. Momentum sticking with this Loki. No Rockets at all for blue team, and currently they are holding the lead. Sending the shots down range. Full metal. trying to set up, trying to creep on forward, but is trading out with Cybur here. Good lockdown. Cybur is a little bit vulnerable, can get stunned out by Penny pretty effectively if they do not have that barrier. Spider time very early. In comes the Psionic Seduction to lock down Mag, trying to get the retreating members, but just cannot reach. Barrier's going to be traded as they push on in. Inflated form Wzrrior, trying to push in with that Mr. Fantastic to try and act as that second tank, essentially that third tank. Blocking. Psionic Seduction, though. They're going to be caught right in that but beautiful regeneration domain. Buys them enough time to make it around the corner of Fist of Khonshu. Blasting through this choke point. Takes out Cybur. Ranked 1 POV down. lennJaeGon is down. And immediate M to try and turn this. Vastus looking for bedtime story once again. Not able to get the finishing blow. And now is very much isolated. Very much getting focused. Dazzle the Butterfly comes in for a little bit of counter damage, but there's just too much sustain here. Triple V, the only one to fall. Wzrrior continues to try and pile on the pressure. Len gets pulled in, knocked back. Great lockdown by Wzrrior, who comes in with another Brainiac bounce to try and set up some zoning, to try and dive and just keep them contained here. Blue team, with this containment set up, are doing fantastically. The multiple Magnetos, 62% currently for blue team. Red team yet to get on the board here. In comes lennJaeGon with the Galactic Legend into the backline, trying to put on a little bit of pressure. Loki firing squad, keeping a little bit of pressure, forcing them around the corner here. And they just got nothing out of that. Completely zoned away. Down goes Magneto as in comes another spider time from FullMetalLamps. Keeping them zoned in the base takes a lot of damage, made a bit more than they can chew, gets the fate of both worlds, will be able to retreat back to the rest of their team, dives back into the cloak and dagger healing area. The Eternal Bond, but the zoning was still effective as blue team absolutely smash on through here. That's going to be a 2-0 going over the blue team. Momentum claiming MVP there. God, just a psychotic face on that Loki end screen. I love it so much. MVP for Momentum. 17 eliminations. Only got taken down once. Tied lowest in the game with Haluk. 5 final hits. 8k damage. Solid MVP. 24k healing, of course. Second highest in the game, but it is enough to claim MVP. Let's look at the top numbers so for both these teams. Haluk with 22 eliminations, just beating out Bedtime Story, and beating them out in final hits as well. 8 final hits for FullMetalLamps for Haluk, and only 7 for Bedtime Story. Falling a little bit behind. Top damage, though, is, of course, going to be Bedtime Story on that Moon Knight, 26k. That is a solid, oh my god, so much. Look at that, 17k, 16k. Good lord, that is 9k more than like anyone in the game. That's a lot. Bedtime Story with the DPS output here. Good heavens. That Moon Knight spread damage really adding up here. Wzrrior, though, that's a statistic I want to look at here. How much damage did they absorb? 15k. They did 12k damage, absorbed 15k, and were able to only get taken out 4 times. That's not bad. 6 final hits as well. You obviously don't see some of the slows that they were applying to see how much that adds here. But overall, that's a pretty good spread. Adds up to about 27k. 28k if you add up the hundreds. It's still a little bit lower than the added damage blocked plus damage done by Bedtime Story, but who could really compete with that? Let's compare it to Tico as a good example there. 17k damage, 8k damage blocked, adds up to about 25k. So Wzrrior did keep up quite nicely in terms, if you keep these factors as an exact equivalent, which of course they're not. But it still seemed to work for them. They had good lockdown, they had good zoning, they had all right damage. Good enough, even. You compare it to Tico, only 5k less damage. It's not bad, considering you absorbed that much more damage. Top damage blocked, though, is going to go over to Vastus on that Doctor Strange, absorbing 28k damage. Cybur, lennJaeGon, FullMetalLamps, and Haluk, all on about 24k, 25k, all around the same area here, just absorbing nicely. Vastus does come out on top. And the top healing goes over to rank 1 POV. We'll keep an eye on them to see if they can make that. See if we can cover them more in the future. They beat out their contemporaries, all the other supports, by 3k, 5k, and 12k more healing than Triple V. Triple V having a little bit of trouble, being pressured a bit too much there, but it didn't matter because they still won the game, and pretty convincingly. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our game for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Bit of a shorter one today, so I'll make sure that I pick a nice long one for the next game that we cast. So make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you're ready for tomorrow's game. A reminder to send in your replays if you want us to cover, if you want me to cover something. I am very easily bought. I want to run a tournament. Then I'll go for my usual spiel. I want to run another tournament. I've run a couple in previous games before by myself. I have a load of people who I know are very good at running tournaments who I'd be able to bring on in. I have some casters who I'd love to do some work with. So if anyone knows or wants to, or is a company that is in the gaming industry and maybe wants to sponsor your boy, then let me know. I am looking to run something. I want to give players money. That would be nice. So if you know anyone, then send them over. Help the channel grow by subscribing, liking the video, ringing the bell, or becoming a member. And if you don't want to subscribe, become a member or send a super thanks, etc., you can support this channel just by watching either with YouTube Premium or by turning off your ad block. I try to only put adverts in the in-between sections of games or in-between series if it's a longer tournament game. So I try to keep it more limited that way so I don't interrupt the viewing experience as much as I can. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. I have been your caster, Tetcher. Hope you've all had a lovely day, and I will see you all next time.